Recep Tayyip Erdogan has pledged to bring down Turkey's soaring inflation. Under pressure from the president, Turkey's central bank has slashed rates in recent months, triggering a currency crisis. Our correspondent Julia Hahn reports from Istanbul.
Fuat Diamenci has to print new price stickers. Milk, eggs, toilet paper. Almost everything he sells in his small shop in Istanbul's Kadıköy district has become more expensive again. Take this pack of pasta, for example. A year ago, I sold it for 3.5 liras. Now it costs more than twice as much. That's not normal. Manufacturers and wholesalers are hiking prices several times a month. And Diamenci has to do the same. Sometimes, he says, he is barely able to keep up. I've been a shopkeeper for 10 years, but I've never seen anything like this. Right now, the wholesalers don't make a profit, I'm not making a profit, and the customers suffer too. Nobody wins, everyone is losing. All around the world, nations are grappling with rising inflation due to the coronavirus pandemic and higher energy costs. But the price spikes here in Turkey have been exacerbated by a dramatic depreciation of the country's currency, the lira. According to official figures, inflation has soared to 36%. That's the highest rate in nearly 20 years. Yet many think that even this eye-popping figure is an understatement. I think inflation is higher. Everything got at least twice or three times as expensive. We know exactly what we are paying at the supermarket. I think it's 50% or more. I've been running around for 2 hours trying to find cheap bread. I think we are seeing 100% inflation right now. On social media too, anger about the price explosion is growing. This Twitter account with more than 100,000 followers is called Inflation Diary. Users post photos showing changing price tags in grocery stores. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's economic policies have so far been unsuccessful. Nevertheless, he says he is convinced that prices will soon fall. Economist Gülden Atabay disagrees. She projects that inflation will likely rise, further eroding incomes and savings. Towards the end of the first quarter, we will see inflation rates of 50 to 60%. The real problem is that President Erdogan thinks he is the chief economist here in the country, and everyone else doesn't know anything. That will only change with an election and a new government. The next elections in Turkey aren't officially due until 2023. Shop owner Fuat Diamenci does not know what will happen in the meantime. But he knows one thing for sure. The next price hike will definitely come.
Let's discuss the situation in Turkey further with economist Can Selçuklu. He joins us from Istanbul. Thanks for being with us on DW Business. Can you just explain to us why, when inflation is such a big problem in many parts of the world at the moment, it is so severe in Turkey?
Well, the fundamental reason is the causes of inflation is not being dealt with currently by economic management, neither by or the monetary policy. So, as long as the underlying effects of this soaring inflation is not dealt with, it's not reasonable to expect the inflation to go down. And obviously, at the core of the issue is the depreciated lira, as the Turkish economy already dependent largely on FX currencies for production. The dollarization is increasing and the trust in the economy overall is decreasing. And this has an effect not only prices through the pass-through of the currency, but also through the increase in producers' costs, which in effect impacts the prices for the consumers. So this is a downward spiral. And as long as these drivers are not dealt with, there's no reason to expect the inflation to go down.
Yeah, I mean, the approach you're talking about there is President Erdogan's unconventional belief that low interest rates will tackle inflation. Why does he have this unconventional idea of how to handle the situation?
I think there's growth at all costs is prioritized, seems to have been prioritized at the moment, and low interest rates with a depreciated lira that would provide a competitive edge for Turkish exports is believed to incentivize investment and drive exports up. However, this aim to provide oxygen for the private sector by lowering interest rates actually has quite the opposite effect. Right now, the official interest rate is very different from what the real sector loan rates. So, in effect, this whole thing drives up producers, manufacturers' costs. So it's actually resulting in the opposite direction.
So just briefly, if you can, is there any hope, without a radical change in approach, of inflation actually being tackled in Turkey?
Anything short of a complete policy reversal, I see it very difficult for inflation to go down. As I said, if you don't deal with the drivers, then it's not reasonable to expect the result to change.
OK. Can Selçuklu, thank you very much for joining us on DW Business.
My pleasure.